Get ready for a tale about a clever donkey and his sneaky plan to lighten his load. But will his trick work, or will a wise merchant teach him a surprising lesson in The Ass and the Salt Merchant?
Under a bright, cheerful sun, a kind merchant and his dependable ass began their daily journey home from the seashore. The air was fresh, and a gentle breeze rustled the leaves of the trees. The ass carried 2 heavy baskets on his back, filled to the brim with white, glittering salt. Both merchant and ass had made this trip many times, a familiar path winding through the countryside. Soon, they approached a wide, shallow river that shimmered like a ribbon in the sunlight. This river ford was a common crossing point, and the cool water always felt refreshing. The merchant guided his faithful animal carefully towards the glistening water. The ass took slow, steady steps, his heavy load making each movement deliberate. But today, something unexpected happened. When they were halfway across, the ass's foot slipped on a smooth, mossy stone hidden beneath the water. With a sudden lurch, he lost his balance and fell right into the shallow river with a big splash. The merchant quickly reacted, trying his best to help. It took some effort, but the kind merchant finally managed to help his ass scramble back to his feet. As the sleepy animal shook off the water, he noticed something amazing. The heavy bags on his back felt much, much lighter. A lot of the salt had dissolved into the river, floating away downstream. The ass let out a cheerful hee-haw and finished the rest of the journey home with much more bounce in his step. He was so delighted to have a lighter burden. The merchant, noticing the ass's newfound energy, gave a gentle chuckle, happy to see his animal so lively, even after the little mishap. Early the next morning, the merchant set out to the seashore again to collect another load of salt. This time the ass walked along with a sly glint in his dark eyes. He hadn't forgotten the pleasant surprise from yesterday. He remembered exactly how easy the journey had become after his accidental fall. As they approached the familiar glimmering ford, the ass began to think of a plan. Nobody was looking too closely. With a sneaky grin, he purposely let himself stumble and fall right into the cool, shallow water once more. A loud splash echoed through the quiet countryside as he went down. The merchant watched, his eyes narrowing. He was not fooled this time. He knew his ass was trying to trick him and make his load lighter. With a stern look, the merchant pulled the ass out of the water, a new idea beginning to form in his mind. 2 can play at that game, he thought, with a determined nod. Without another word, the angry merchant turned the ass around and led him straight back to the seashore. The ass wondered what was happening. His ears drooped slightly. When they arrived, instead of salt, the merchant loaded the 2 big baskets with soft, fluffy sponges. The ass watched curiously, unaware of the clever lesson about to unfold. Back at the familiar river ford, the ass chuckled to himself. Now was the perfect time for his trick. He deliberately stumbled and tumbled over, splashing into the cool water with a satisfied grin. Hee-haw, he thought, imagining an even lighter load this time. The sponges were so much lighter than salt. Surely they'd be almost nothing now. But when the ass tried to scramble back to his feet, he felt a terrible shock. The sponges, instead of vanishing like the salt, had soaked up all the river water. They now weighed 10 times more than before. Each basket was incredibly heavy, feeling like giant stones pressing down on his back. Oh dear, his clever plan had backfired terribly. With a mournful and tired bray, the ass slowly and painfully dragged himself out of the water. He pulled his waterlogged load homeward, his head hanging low, each step a heavy effort. This was by far the heaviest burden he had ever carried, and his clever trick had truly led to an unhappy consequence. From that day on, the wise ass understood a valuable lesson. Trying to trick others or take shortcuts often leads to bigger problems and heavier burdens for ourselves. It is always better to be honest, work hard, and face challenges with integrity. Both the merchant and ass lived happily thereafter, having learned and grown from their adventure.
Ever dreamed of being the hero? Now you get to be the star. Your adventure starts at TalesMio. Visit talesmio.com now.